Hi, my name is Mariah Deeg. I have been a teacher here at Hillside for 5 years, and this is my fourth year teaching physical science. I graduated from Idaho State University with a Bachelor's of Science in Elementary Education, and I am currently working on my Master's in Educational Leadership at Boise State University. Physical science isn't necessarily my favorite content. I can't say that I love physics and chemistry, but it's my very favorite class to teach. So it's a really fun class. I'm excited for the year, and I'm hoping that we can do as much and make it as engaging as it typically is in an in-person setting. So semester one focuses on physics, semester two is chemistry. We'll also be focusing on the process of science, so making observations, gathering data, and making conclusions based on evidence. Even in a virtual setting, we're going to try to work on these skills as much as possible. So semester one is motion, forces, energy, waves, and electromagnetism, so all physics. And semester two is chemistry, so matter, atomic structure, periodic table, chemical bonding, chemical reactions, acids, bases, and organic chemistry. Lots of fun labs that we do throughout the entire year. Materials are going to be definitely a notebook and a pencil, as well as having access to colored pencils or crayons or markers, something that students can draw with, as well as a highlighter. And then we also suggest a calculator, a ruler, and scissors. Even when we come back to in-person, having these items is going to allow us to not have to share materials. Student responsibilities, it looks, well, it sounds the same as what happens in an in-person classroom. It just looks a little bit different in a virtual setting. So be respectful, communicate with teacher, putting distractions away, and most importantly right now is taking responsibility for your own learning. I've told the students that, I'm not walking around telling them to take notes. If I ask them to take notes, I don't necessarily see that they're doing that. So they actually need to take that responsibility to do the assignments, to take notes, and to do what they should be doing. For virtual discipline, if there's something happening, I'll give out a warning in the class in the Google Meets first. If they're talking and they need to be muted, I can mute them from my end. I can also remove them from the Google Classroom if it continues. If I get to that point, I will send you home an email, just kind of letting you know what happened that day and why they got removed from class. And then if it continues after that, I'll set up a meeting with parents and administration and kind of work together to help solve the issue happening. Grading I'm keeping very simple with this virtual setting. It's just going to be based on total points. So assignments, quizzes, labs, tests, projects. If something is 40 questions, it'll be worth 40 points. So very simple this year. You can retake and turn in all work up until 2 weeks from the end of the semester. And my biggest virtual tips for your students is to, number one, don't get behind. If you skip one day, it's a pretty heavy load that they're going to have to try to make up on top of everything else, as well as read through everything thoroughly. They're used to having us, they'll raise our hand anytime they have a question, and we're just not as accessible as we normally are in person. So just read through everything first, try to problem solve a little bit, and then reach out to the teacher and connect with them. And then my biggest thing is to give grace right now. My philosophy is that everybody is doing the best that they can. So just acting with a little bit more understanding and forgiveness during this time, I think goes a long way. Communication, the very best way to reach me is through email. I'll send out messages through Infinite Campus, and my website has some information, and my phone number is listed here. But again, best way to contact me is through email. I've got access to that all day long. My website, I've kept fairly basic. Your students can access Google Classroom for everything. This is for the parent perspective. There's a quick intro, ways to contact me, and then you can click to physical science. And it's just got the class syllabus that I just went through and the daily agenda. So your student is accessing assignments and content through Google Classroom. And then just a tip, if your student has me for either health or earth science as well, the other presentations are basically exactly the same. So you don't necessarily have to go watch me talk and say the same thing for another 5 minutes. Welcome to school, and I'm really excited to get to know your students and work with you. Thanks.